Welcome, basketball fans, to Pollard Gymnasium for tonight's game between our visitors, the Crawfordsville Athenians, and the Speedway Sparkplugs. Last game before the Christmas vacation. Once again, as normal, I'm joined here tonight with Coach Charles Bennett. Coach, let's look at the three losses that you've had, really close losses. Covenant Christian was a loss by 3, went right down to the last second. Greenwood a loss by 5 in a very competitive game at North Montgomery. Did you notice anything similar in those games, something that you need to clean up that you would be helpful to finish games off with?
Turnovers. We left a lot of possessions that, Covenant we had 21. Part of that's because of the way they played, part of that's because of the first game, part of it we just didn't take real good care of the basketball. North Montgomery, we had 14. We also had a cold shooting night that night, too. We were 6 of 27 behind the arc. Drew Metallic struggled a little bit. He was 1 for 9. He generally does not shoot like that. So even Devin Robinson, it was kind of a little bit of an off night, but the turnovers were 14. And then against Greenwood, we had 15 turnovers. Cam Wright that night had 5, and Drew Metallic had 4. So, again, all stuff that we watched on film. Now, in our victories, when we played at Beach Grove, we had 14, but that was coming off of 21, and then at Monrovia, we only had 10. So we told ourselves and our kids that, hey, if we keep it around 10, that'd be great. We looked to try to get a 1.5 assist to turnover ratio. So we figure if we get 15 assists and 10 turnovers, we're in pretty good shape. So that's one of the keys. And just I think our transition defense at times was a little shaky, especially against Covenant and against Greenwood, but all things you clean up. And I know it's cliche, you hear it all the time. It's like we just need to watch the film, clean up, do what we do. But it really is that simple. So tonight, I would hope that we take better care of the basketball, look for that 10 turnover mark. I would hope that our transition defense is a little bit better. They do like to push it down the floor. We've got to find their shooter, Pat kid, number 5, who shoots from the left corner. The McLemore kid, who's their point guard, very speedy. So we'll have to concentrate on that. Now, they only score, having said that, they only score 42 points a game. So, but for a team that scores 42, they like to push it, and then they're very, very patient. But those are the things that we want to clean up, continue to value the ball, value possessions, because I know I'm talking a lot here, but if you cut down if you just get our turnovers down to 10, I mean, if we have that against Covenant, that's 11 more possessions we get, 5 more possessions against Greenwood, and that's the difference in the game. So, and then Greenwood that night, they shot. We allowed them to shoot 50% from the field. Our goal is 40%. If we would have done that, they would have scored 12 less points, and then we would have won 51-44. But those are all things that you learn from. Things that we're thankful that it wasn't like the sectional semifinal or sectional first game of the sectional, because we can watch it, learn, and then see how our kids have done a great job in practicing. And I know I've mentioned that several times, but to our kids' credit, 4 practices in a row for kids these days is tough to handle. Plus finals this week, I can say our energy in practice, especially yesterday, was really good. So I look forward to us coming out tonight and playing really hard. We know we have a couple of days off, and then go to Ritter. So.
Well, you mentioned the fact that, and I was the same way. I saw a little bit of them on film today. I just wanted to try to get accustomed to their players. But I was watching the team they were playing, and it looked like they were running up and down, and I was anticipating the fact that they would be scoring in the 60s or 70s a game. And as you said, they were averaging 47.9 points a game. I also noticed that about 44% of all their shots this year are coming from the three-point line. So I imagine getting out on the shooters tonight is going to be very important as well.
It's going to be key for us. Yeah, like I said, number 5, the Pat kid, can really shoot it from the left corner. Now, they did lose Burris, number 3. He broke his elbow, shattered his elbow. He was a very good three-point shooter. And we pointed that out to our kids today, too. Number 5 has not attempted a free throw all year long. So, that tells you something about where his game is. So, hopefully our kids will be dialed into what their personnel are and all that. So.
Sure. Last thing, after tonight, a lot of these guys have been going since, I was going to say since August, but a lot of these guys have been going since before the summer started even. And so we play tonight, which is Friday, Christmas is Monday. What will the team schedule be for the next?
Well, we got to come back the day after Christmas because we play Ritter on the 28th, so there's no chance to really give an extended break. But we're looking at hopefully playing well at Ritter, and then maybe take a couple days off after New Year's. We don't play again until January 5th. Possibly looking at, I'd like to go watch a college practice. I've reached out to Marion University. They have a game, a couple games coming up over break. Get out there and watch practice just to change it up a little bit. So, and then, then after that, then we get the heart of the schedule, because then we get the Marion County tournaments. We play on a Tuesday. And the following week, we got Lutheran on a Tuesday. We play Tri-West on a Friday, Western Boone on a Saturday. So we're going to get some games. So our kids, all this practice time is going to pay off, and we'll start playing more games. But yeah, we'd love to give them more time off. It's just not feasible for that. But we do all of our athletes in between sports, like when soccer lost 5 days off. We said we don't want to see it. And actually, it was probably more like 8 or 9 because they lost on a Saturday. We don't want to see it. And football guys, same thing. They lost on a Friday. We don't need to see it until tryouts. So I know it's not a true mental, but it's more of a mental break than I think is anything. So, but yeah, I mean, again, to our kids' credit, I think they thrive on being multi-sport athletes. So, I mean, we have several of our kids that do 3 sports, and I think that helps. And plus, what else would they be doing? They're routine creatures in the end of everything. So, and they like being around the guys too. I mean, super good group of guys that like to be around each other. So.
One last thing, just to clear up and make sure that our fans know this. When we play Ritter on the 28th, is that still a freshman JV varsity?
Freshman at 4:30, JV at 6, and then varsity at 7. And
it's
at Ritter. Yes, at Ritter this year.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We'll be back here a little bit with the lineups of today's game, and we'll see Coach Ben after the game.
We welcome you inside the Morris Pollard Gymnasium here at Speedway High School. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas for the Speedway Spark Plugs. This is their last home game of 2023. My name is Greg Rakestraw. I must have done something right last February. I kept my annual invite to come back and be a part of the show. Ron Probst again with me. Ronnie, it's good to see you. Happy holidays, my friend.
We're really glad to have you back. A lot of people don't know this, but Greg came in on Santa's sleigh today from Kokomo, where he did 2 games earlier. Flew down here to be with us tonight. We're very happy.
Thankfully, Santa Sleigh had a police escort, so I could get here in plenty of time. The JV game took a little bit of time. Let's talk about these two teams. Crawfordsville comes in at 4-3. They're 2-0 in the Sagamore Conference. They are a senior-dominated team, very balanced team. Don't really wow you offensively, but pretty solid results so far this year for Coach Pierce.
You know, I saw on tape on film one time, and I think it was against Attica. They really impressed me with the way they were defending, full court, half court. When I watched that game, I thought this team must be averaging 60, 70 points a game, and I looked, they're averaging about 40, 45 points a game. It's kind of surprised me. The other thing that surprised me, I looked at statistics, 44% of all their field goal attempts are coming from the three-point line. And so we're going to see a barrage of three-point shots tonight. I think it's probably going to be one of the keys for the Plugs to be able to get out, cover those shooters, and also be able to handle their press.
And this is a team that is missing a key piece in terms of Crawfordsville. Speedway is too. We'll get there in a matter of moments. But Drake Burris, 5'10 senior, 8 points a game. He is out with an arm injury. So now let's get to Speedway. And let's start by the fact that Cam Reich, who is currently 21st in the state in scoring, he's here, but he's not playing tonight. School rule in terms of a technical foul means you have to sit a game. So the Plugs will be without their leading scorer. That's never exactly a spot you want to be in if you're Chuck Bennett. But you know it's not a long-term thing. You'll see him next Thursday. You have the West Side Super Bowl just up the road at Cardinal Ritter High School. But at the same time, this is a chance for other guys to showcase their skills tonight.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see how that works. Sometimes that can work in a positive way. Other times, when people try to do too much and think, I've got to do it on my own here because we don't have Cam out there, it becomes kind of a distraction and a negative. But I don't think that will happen with our team tonight. We got some veteran players back. And I think they know that it's going to be next man up, so to speak. The real issue for us tonight will be, for the Spark Plugs, will be probably we're only a 7-person deep team normally. This puts us down to 6, and we'll have some other players come in. But to me, you're going to get to the second, third quarter, fourth quarter, and that fatigue factor could come into play.
The only good news for Speedway is that Crawfordsville's kind of in the same boat. They're about a 7 or 8 man team as well. So of our keys to the game, bench points will not likely be one of them for this evening's contest. Speedway on the season comes in at 2-3, but much like Crawfordsville, they have saved their best for conference play. 2-0 so far, the Plugs in ICC action.
Yeah, we first game of the year was against Covenant Christian. We lost a heartbreaker. But we beat Monrovia, we beat Beach Grove. I think we have one team in common that we both have played. Crawfordsville has defeated North Montgomery earlier in the season. Northmont defeated Speedway earlier in the season. So hard to tell to compare on those things, but we'll see. It's a 4-year. This is our 4th year of this series. Crawfordsville has won 3. We've won none so far. So we owe them. But it's a game before Christmas. We're all looking forward to it. We know that the last game before a holiday like this makes the turkey, makes the ham taste a lot better over Christmas vacation.
That it does, but as a player, you're always thinking, I got to run that ham off as soon as we get to December the 26th. Again, what's unique for Speedway is the fact there's really not much of a holiday break. They play again in 6 days, so yes, they'll take some time away from the practice court. That is not the case for Crawfordsville. After tonight, they don't play for 14 days. They have their annual county tournament. You mix in Western Boone, which is 3 schools playing in Montgomery County. Their annual Sugar Creek Invitational is coming up in a couple of weeks. Right now, we pause to listen to the playing of tonight's national anthem. We'll have the starting lineups for you. But again, we pause with the upcoming national anthem here at Speedway High School.
Sportsmanship, we ask all fans to act responsibly and courteously to those around.
with that, let's get to the starting five. First of all, for the visitors from Crawfordsville. Again, very balanced group, as we said. Again, they play a 7-man rotation. One of those will not play tonight due to Drake Burris. Their top 6 scorers all average between 5.5 and 10.5 points a game. Alex Shaden, a 6'4 junior, is their leading scorer, 11 points and 7 rebounds a contest. Tyson Fuller, a 5'11 senior, 10 points and 4 rebounds a game. Tyson is a 50% shooter from the field on the season. Ethan McLemore is a 6'1 senior, 9 points, 3.5 rebounds, 3 assists a game. Doesn't take that many threes. Ron referred to they love to shoot those threes due to the Athenians. He is 7 of 17 from three-point range on the season. Caden Patton is a 6-foot senior, 7 points and 4 rebounds a game. Caden is a 43% shooter from three-point range. And Mason McCarty, a 5'9 sophomore, 5.5 points, 3 rebounds a game, 4 of 11 from three-point range on the season. Key numbers for Crawfordsville: 48 points a game, they give up 44. They shoot 43% from the field, 36% from three-point range. But as Ron talked about, they're making over 7 threes a game. Let's do that math. 21 of 48 points per game come from three-point range. Yet they're only a 56% free throw shooting team, and they're really a jump shooting team, Ron, because they only take 10 free throws a game.
Yeah, usually when you see a team shoot 36% for threes, you figure that they're going to be a good team from the line. But surprisingly, as you said, they're not. And not only they're not a really good free throw shooting team, they only shot 61 free throws, which I guess just lets you think about jump shooting.
10 assists, 9 turnovers, and 7 steals a game for head coach Ed Pearson in his 14th year as the man in charge of the Athenians boys basketball. So now for the Speedway Spark Plugs. Again, no Cam Wright tonight. Drew Metallic will be the leading scorer for this Speedway Spark Plugs team, coming in 6'3" sophomore, 11.5 points. Landon Short is a 6'5" senior, 11 points, 5.5 boards, 3 steals a game. Landon led the team in shooting last year, doing it again this year. 59% from the floor, and despite the fact he's only 48% from the free throw line. Devin Robinson is a 5'10" senior, 9.5 points and 5 rebounds a game. Coach's son, Cam Bennett, 6'3" junior, 5.5 points, 4.5 rebounds a game. And Toby Cork is a 5'10" senior, again, just a point a game, but he gets the start in place of Cam Reich. Numbers for the plug: 62 points a game from the floor, 63 is what they're giving up, 42% from the floor, 30% from three-point range. Ron, quick thoughts on keys for Speedway to get the W tonight?
Again, I think we're going to have to defeat their pressure, especially their full-court pressure, and we're going to have to make sure we can cover their three-point shooters, not give them second shots. I know that's 3 keys there, but you get a lot of second shots when you get long three-point defense.
Consider it like a janitor. You can have as many keys as you want. Opening tap is won by Crawfordsville, and here we go. As Ron pointed out, 4th consecutive year they have played right before Christmas. Crawfordsville has won all the games in really competitive contests. Just simple motion offense here for the Athenians in the opening possession of the game. In their last game, they put up just 24 points in a loss to Seeger. Athenians have a couple of gaps in their schedule. They don't play next weekend, and they'll play twice the weekend after that. Then they're off again until mid-January. Steal by the Plugs. Taken away by Landon Short. Speedway 15 turnovers a game. Athenians just over 9. That could be a difference in tonight's game, but it's also a sign of the difference of number of possessions and tempo in which these two teams like to play. And Metallic has it taken away. Step through and foul on the floor. No shot underneath out of bounds to Crawfordsville.
Coach Bennett was talking about asking what is the one thing in common in the 3 losses that we had. It did take him a half a second to blur it out. Turnovers have been the issue in the 3 losses we've had.
Chuck in his 21st year as the head coach here at Speedway. Both these programs looking for a first sectional crown since 2014. Just a year previous to that, Speedway just missed on another trip to what is now Cambridge Fieldhouse. Got there and won the 2A title in 02. Semi-state loss to Linton Stockton back in 2013 at the Tiernan Center in Richmond. I was there for that game. I'm sure you were too.
Oh, yes.
Metallic 3 does not go. And a rebound corralled by McLemore for the Athenians. So 90 seconds in and scoreless here at the Morris Pollard Gymnasium. And that rings true after McLemore misses from 14.
Very fortunate there that defensive people left him, and they should not do that.
Good pass, good recovery.
Handed the passing lane that time by Caden Patton, underneath out of bounds, coming up for the Plugs. As I mentioned, upcoming tournament action. Speedway does not play in a holiday tournament, but of course they're one of the 16 teams that will play in the Marion County tournament. It comes up 2 weeks from this Tuesday on January the 9th.
And Speedway drew Rockalley playing the Royals.
And of all the draws you could get, that's one that's manageable, maybe is the way to put it. Where you feel you got a puncher's chance going in if you're Speedway.
Over the years, that's been very difficult playing Ben Davis and Lawrence Norris, but you're exactly right.
I don't have the exact numbers, but I think I did this last year because I'm fortunate to get to broadcast the semis and finals most year on TV. I think it's 11 4A schools of the 16 that are a part of the Marion County tournament. On the turnaround shot, McLemore doesn't get it to go. So 2.5 minutes in, neither team yet to crack the scoring column. We could edit that comment as Landon Short gets the bucket to go. Landon, the 6'4 senior, 11 points, 5.5 rebounds a game. Good hands there by the Plugs. Bennett gets the takeaway. Third Athenian turnover. Robinson was all by his lonesome, but Metallic couldn't find a window to get it to him. Deliberate pace here for the Plugs, and without your leading scorer in Cam Reich, that's not a bad thing.
Good game planning on the Speedway part. This is probably about as patient as I've seen this all year, Greg.
Robinson's runner does not go. Devin, the fourth leading scorer most nights, third coming in tonight at 9.5 points a game. And yes, you can tell Devin also a football player here at Speedway High School.
Very good player.
A little 1-4 set, letting McLemore go to work. Got a good look, just couldn't finish. And the team that from Crawfordsville that kept on going down Crawfordsville Road to get here has yet to buy a bucket this evening. Good slip, short. Not that time. Bennett couldn't hang on to the weak side glass. Spot up three in the corner. Again, that's what Crawfordsville likes to do. Frankly, it's the first one they've taken in tonight's game.
A little surprised by that.
And Speedway doing a good job of not allowing much in the way of loose change so far in this one.
Speedway generally is a man-to-man team. We will sprinkle some zone in from time to time and a little pressure once in a while, but traditionally Coach Bennett loves the man-to-man defense.
Knowing Coach Bennett, that does not surprise me a bit. And Robinson, or is it Short? Yeah, it's Short on the moving screen. Well, they might have got Robinson leading with an arm, but moving screen violation instead. Both teams with 3 turnovers in the first 4 minutes and 14 seconds.
Landon, we really need, Speedway needs a good night from Landon Short. He's the most veteran player back. As you said earlier, he's shooting 58% from the field. Football player, good size, so Plugs will need a good night from him.
Of course, there's always a great tie-in from football to basketball to school. Jazz Coleman on the floor now. Normally that's about the end of the rotation. That may not be the case tonight. Jazz, a 6-foot sophomore, point, 2.5 boards a game. Good on-ball defense. Nearly got a 5-second call. Who touched it last? Crawfordsville did. And I'm not sure I know that much about basketball, but I'm pretty sure if you got a 2-0 lead, you don't let the other team score, you got a good chance of winning the game.
I think you know a little bit more about basketball than what you're giving you credit, but exactly right. Now I can see why. And they're very, Crawfordsville have been very patient on offense. I think the fact that you look at their size, they got one player over 6'4". But a lot of times when you're playing a loaded schedule with taller people, more physical people, you got to pick a method, a style of play to win. And Coach Pierce does a great job over there, and that's what they're doing.
Crawfordsville plays in a good league. Their schedule in terms of the Sagamore is backloaded. They get Tri-West and Danville as their last 2 league games in February. Foul going to be called. But of course, that league is about to change dramatically, as that foul was against Alex Saden. And that is Danville, Tri-West, and Lebanon were very kindly asked to find another league. And replacing them, as soon as kind of Danville, Tri-West, and Lebanon can clear their schedules, will be Cascade, Greencastle, and North Putnam. Metallic 3 is good. Drew Metallic gets his first bucket, just the second basket for, well, anybody in tonight's game. 5-0 Plugs.
Yeah, Greg, the high schools are following the cue from the colleges in terms of conference realignment, and a lot of things changing.
Nice steal. Good wide way for the turnover. Go get it. Landon short, lays it up, and then timeout called by Coach Pierce. It is 7-0 Speedway, and Chuck Bennett likes what he sees from his team so far.
Great start by the Plugs. Again, a little surprising that we have not seen many three-point attempts by the Athenians, but a lot of that's the defense at Speedway, a lot of on-ball. I know on that last possession did a tremendous job of not letting any penetration, not letting the ball in the middle of the floor.
And let's face it, the defense has been good, but not stifling for most of this year for Speedway. Perhaps what that does is it alludes to the schedule they have played so far this season.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times, too, I think if I ask Coach Bennett, another thing that we need to work on, be better, especially in our losses, and this is true in any game that you watch, it's a game of runs. And sometimes we give up too many, we can't stop those runs. So this could be interesting. I mean, Crawfordsville, a nice team. You know they're going to come. They're going to make a run at some point. How you handle those situations basically is going to determine whether or not you win or lose in the end. These two teams look like they're pretty evenly matched.
Crawfordsville last year 9-15, Speedway 4-19. Year before, though, the Athenians went 17-6.
I thought that was one of the better teams we played 2 years ago. After the game, I told Coach Pierce, best of luck in the regular season. You got a nice ball club.
And there is what we expected to see from Crawfordsville. Patton, again, is a 43% three-point shooter. 7 points and 4 rebounds a game. Run and jump trap here by Crawfordsville. And first time they have a chance to set something up after making their first field goal. Robinson left by his lonesome and lays it up and in. Good recognition from out top by Speedway. So a 9-3 start to this game for the Plugs. Looking for their first non-conference win in just their 6 games so far this year. Crawfordsville taking their time, getting their set. Shot from 15 does not go, and again, it's not surprising. Speedway is the more physical team tonight. They should control the glass, and so far they have done that. Metallic in the lane, and pretty basic basketball. Spread the floor, let your big with a handle go to work, and Drew Metallic will shoot too.
Drew's been playing a lot of point guard this year. He sees over defenses a lot better than the players can. But he's got a lot of offensive potential, as his brother, who we mentioned earlier, Wabash College, now off to a good start.
Well, let's talk about that, because Wabash just played 2 games in Washington, D.C., lost them both. They're now 7-5 on the season. The Little Giants are 3-1 in North Coast Athletic Conference play. But Nate Metallic is getting minutes on a nightly basis for Coach Brummett's team over in Wabash, who has made each of the last 2 Division III tournaments and made the D3 semifinals 2 years ago.
A lot of adjustments, any athlete going in any sport from high school to college, but Nate seems to be picking it up a lot quicker than what a lot of people thought he might.
There's 1 field goal so far for Crawfordsville in the first 7 minutes. And not a steal, because Speedway couldn't maintain the possession.
Well, unofficially, I have them for 6 turnovers here in the first 7.5 minutes of the game.
McLemore got fouled. Yep, Robinson couldn't stop his momentum. And Ethan McLemore to the free throw line to shoot 2.
You can't rebound turnovers. You rebound missed shots. You can't rebound turnovers. Also, all turnovers are not created equal. Most of their turnovers have been live ball turnovers.
McLemore misses. He is 4 of 9 from the free throw line. Again, for a great jump shooting team, you think that would translate. Last night, Ron had a game where it's the absolute opposite. Had the IUPUI game last night, and they are next to last in Division I in three-pointers made per game. They are last in three-point percentage. As Robinson gets the and one, I'll finish the story, and they're first in the Horizon League in free throw percentage. Go figure. So Robinson gets the bucket and gets fouled in the process. Again, Robinson is a tough matchup. 5'10", but clearly that football defensive line build that he has kind of some unique pieces that Coach Bennett has to work with this year. 6'3" point guard, 5'10" post to work with. And that shot is up and good for Robinson. He's got 5. So 14-3 start for the Plugs. Good drive and kick for a corner 3, and that does not go. And again, it's been one and done. See if the Plugs can try to hold for one. Here comes the trap for Crawfordsville. Speedway will attack. Short says, I'm open, why not? And if it goes, you did the right thing. Landon Short has 7. It is a 2-touchdown lead for Speedway. Clock runs down. Shot blocked. No contact. And without having seen a quarter of basketball this year for Speedway, I'm going to take a guess that this is the best quarter you've seen for the Plugs all season.
That would be a really good guess. Did a lot of things, and I think it started on the defensive end. With the Plugs, and I think with most teams, if you're playing good defense, everybody's moving, you're communicating, you're talking, and we've been very patient. As I said earlier, I have Crawfordsville down for 6 turnovers, and that's going to lead to a lot of bad things, a lot of easy layups, runouts. But yes, this is easily the best quarter of basketball I've seen Speedway play. Crawfordsville scored a bucket with 2:19 to go in a quarter on the 3-pointer, and that's been it.
Scoring in the first quarter. Pretty easy to recap for Crawfordsville. Patton, 1-3. There it is for Speedway. A little better balance. 5 for Drew Metallic, 5 for Devin Robinson, and 7 for Landon Short. Again, no Cam Reich, but clearly as evidenced by their point totals, 3 other capable scorers on this group, and we're seeing that line here in the first 8 minutes.
Well, you mentioned earlier before the game started about this is a chance for other players to step up. They've stepped up in a good way so far. Not trying to do too much, although that was Landon Short's second 3-point attempt of the season. But it was good, so he's shooting 50% right now.
And as a team, Speedway 30% from 3-point range. They're making just under 5 a game. A little zone look here by Crawfordsville.
This is what in the past has given the Plugs some trouble. I know the last home game, Greenwood went to a zone, and it really stymied. We went about 4 or 5 minutes without a basket. So we'll see if the practice since that time has been paid off.
Kendrick Kaiser in the game for Speedway.
Absolutely it has.
Good inside out, good look by Robinson, but one thing if you don't play a lot of zone that's tough to do sometimes is rebound out of it. Yet the shot is blocked for Cam Bennett. And a trailer 3 for Patton is good, and he has both makes from the field and both from 20 feet away for the Athenians.
First offensive possession against the zone for Speedway was very good. Got a nice shot from the top of the key, but good ball movement, went to the short corner with a high post, reversed it several times.
Tough angle with 4 players around, but Metallic bails him out. And then Metallic got fouled on the floor, wave off the shot. First foul of the quarter, calling against Crawfordsville. Jordan Shroud, who just checked in, another 5'9" senior. 2 points and a rebound and a half a game. Metallic on the step-in 3, yes, sir.
Can't leave him.
Basic basketball. Find the guy that inbound the ball. The defense tends to forget about him.
Oldest play in the history of basketball, and the out-of-bounds play underneath the basket.
Second made 3 for Metallic, third for the Plugs. Crawfordsville tries to answer, misses wide right, but Robinson got full as where that ball was going. But McLemore's just having a tough time finding the range. He's getting good looks. Again, he is their third leading scorer on the season at 9 points a game. Trout will come back out.
And again, it's noteworthy that one of their leading scorers, Burris, is not playing tonight either. So they're having the same adjustments as Speedway is.
Burris, 8 points a game. And very balanced Crawfordsville attack, not tonight. And if you're Speedway, you don't have to be in a big hurry here. You've already got a 14-point lead.
Especially against the zone.
Robinson says, forget that. I'll stick to 3.
That's why we're up here.
I think we're officially peanut gallery territory at this point. 23-6 the lead, and Plugs are having a night. And oftentimes you play like this in the holidays, think it's going to be a while till you play again. Not the case for Speedway. They're playing in 6 days. That's off Metallic. It'll be out of bounds to Crawfordsville.
The Ritter confrontation started several years ago where we have freshmen, JV, and varsity in the same evening. It's the only time all year we do that. But it's always a great holiday event. The college kids are home. Attendance is always really good on those games.
There's some rivalries you don't have to say much about. You just know what it is. Speedway and Ritter would be of that ilk. McCarty gets the first 2-point basket of the game for Crawfordsville. He'll also have a chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play as he was fouled. That foul goes against Devin Robinson. It is his second. McCarty on the year, 3 for 7 from the line. Coleman will come back in. Now Robinson will sit with 2 fouls. McCarty 5.5 points and 3 rebounds a game. Normally he is a player that gets the most reps off the bench, but because of the Burris injury, he's getting more time tonight. Full run and jump trap. Good give and go, but Speedway couldn't hang on to it. Right idea. Trailer 3 for McCarty. Not that time. And Metallic, who averages 3.5 boards a game, and Chuck Bennett will call for a timeout again. That's just to try to, I think, work on their zone offense a little bit more. Full timeout taken here by Speedway.
Yeah, this is the time. You build a 15-point lead up, and as a coach, you don't want to see this thing slip because of something that they're doing that you can't be corrected. And like, as I said, we went probably, I said earlier, 4 or 5 minutes. It probably was 7 or 8 minutes against Greenwood when they switched to the zone, and that really turned the course of that game around. Now, the first couple times, though, I've noticed tonight, we've done a great job of getting the ball in the middle. Short corner, which is really a favorite for the Spark Plugs, have got good shots both times, but have not fallen.
Both teams with 4 timeouts at their discretion for the remainder of the contest. Metallic and Robinson each with 8. Part of the story for Speedway, they have made 4 threes already in this game. One more and they will be above their average on the season.
We want to also, as I see him right now walking down, want to congratulate Molly and Johnny for his signed scholarship to the Indiana University to play football. I know when the coaches changes down there was some questions, but he's on board, and what a great opportunity for him. Worked hard. Kyle Reed did a great article on him in the paper to show how much effort it took for him and the coaching staff as well to get into this point.
One thing I've noticed is that a lot of the young men that were going to play at IU decided to stay at IU to play for Kurt Signetti. Another turnover here by Speedway. They're 6th, and then Crawfordsville will give it right back. The new football coach at IU does not lack for confidence, does he?
No, he does not. I think they're going to put a
I hope he backs it up. I hope he's right. Of course, there is one local tie on that staff. Former Ron County then Rebel, Pat Kuntz, was at JMU with Coach Signetti.
Played in this gym. Ron Colley used to be on our regular season schedule. He was a teammate of Jason Warner. That was a great football team. That was also a great basketball team.
Made the semi-state basketball, too.
If I remember right, they may have got beat by one of the Washington teams. I can't remember, but
that's
correct. One of the Zellers.
The oldest in 05, you got it. Kaiser will inbound the basketball for Speedway. And that'll be a moving screen. Yep. That's Coleman. Just leaned in and never got set. So turnovers starting to pile up for the Spark Plugs. Toby Cork will come back in for Speedway. Well, the zone has done its job. It has slowed the Speedway attack. Problem for Crawfordsville is they're still not exactly lighting up offensively just yet. Patton will fire from 17, and when he has touched the ball, good things have happened. Average 7 a game, he's already sitting on 8. Short. Cork throws it away. Patton left alone. Not that time. And again, great job by Short to get inside position.
Very fortunate for Speedway that that bucket did not go in. Lack of communication on the transition defense.
I think they were going to give Metallic the shot if it had gone. Yep, 2 free throws. And You know, I talked about this earlier when you said, all right, they're going to zone you. Hey, take your time. You're protecting a 14-point lead. Without the offensive struggles, I'm kind of the other opinion, which is what Metallic just did. Try to beat the zone down the floor.
That's probably the best way if you're a team that's not a great shooting team from the perimeter. Speedway is not. You got to find other ways to score, whether it be second shots, whether it be right now getting to the free throw line, or as you said, beating it down the floor, getting a quick shot.
So Metallic, a 73% free throw shooter. Robinson will come back in with 2 fouls. I think his absence has been felt. I'll balance the floor a little bit more with Robinson back out there. Even though it's been a bit of an offensive drought, the lead really has not been dented by the visitors. Good high-low. Saden turns and scores.
Nice post-up.
Again, Saden is their leading scorer, just under 11 points a game. Leading rebounder, as Ron pointed out, really their only bit of size on the team. And Bennett traveled.
And we get down 2 or 3 times now in a row. We dribbled that no man's land down there. Against the zone defense, that's a pretty good spot to get it. Against man-to-man, it's not.
Turnovers racking up for the Plugs. But yet the lead remains 13.
Crawfordsville, the first possession of the game, ran what's called flex offense. And I think it was more or less just to get everybody moving, get everybody touching the basketball. I wonder at some point if they're going to come back to that because right now they're really struggling, as you can see.
The 1-4 low set this time. Good drive to the basket by Patton. Patton is having a great night. He needs a little help from his teammates. He's got 10 of the Athenian 14. And trying to set up a little run and jump here is Crawfordsville. Good recognition. Short, powers it up and in. Well, all points have come from 3 sources. Corner 3 does not go. That was Tyson Fuller. Well, we haven't mentioned Fuller's name all that much yet to this point. 10 points and 4 rebounds a game. Metallic in a tough spot. Nice basket cut, yep. To the window. You and I noticed at the exact same time. Great move to the basket. Should be an offensive foul. Yep. Charge taken by Cam Bennett.
2:15 remaining in the half. Speedway up by 15. Very important here to keep this lead where it's at or even extend it.
Don't let the other guy think he has a chance going to halftime.
Exactly.
And Crawfordsville now has gone away from that zone. Short will pull from 15. And again, Robinson couldn't do that. That's his third.
A player may not even touch the player in front of him, but that's going to be called 95% of the time. Especially with the positioning of the officials, nothing against that, but unless you're exactly in line with them, you can't see that.
Now it's about getting a couple of stops here for Speedway heading into halftime. On the drive, McCarty got the nudge from Court, which will be his second foul, and Mason McCarty will go to the line where he is 0 for 1 as a team. Crawfordsville 0 for 3 from the stripe so far.
Nice job on Crawfordsville part, Coach Pierce, several times on that. You mentioned that 1-4 low. Giving the point guard leeway to take our guys inside the lane. They've been successful with that.
McCarty scraped some paint, but got it to go. We've seen just 6 so far for Crawfordsville, and I'm not sure it's going to go that much further. Again, they normally play 7. One of those players is injured. And it makes them both. So McCarty with 4. He averages normally 5.5 a game. That'll be a reach-in foul against Fuller. But Crawfordsville had one to give. And, you know, it's funny, we use almost now the NBA vernacular with the way that the fouls are handled in terms of resetting each quarter. That would be a phrase you hear Mark Boyle say in years gone by, and now we talk about it in high school hoops.
Yeah. Well, Mark Boyle's favorite phrase for me was splash in the season tournament. So I won't use that tonight because that's already been used.
On the drive, too strong off the window, and now here comes Speedway to push. They got a 5-on-3. Good recovery by Crawfordsville. Metallic from the top of the key. No.
Great ball movement, though.
Yep. Good inside-out action by Speedway. Bennett just missed. Got a fingertip on it, couldn't control it.
Toby Course got his work cut out here.
Corner 3, no. And it's not the biggest Crawfordsville team, but you're not going to get an offensive rebound if you send exactly 0 people to the offensive glass. The C's part for Bennett, but not as much as he thought they would. Bennett picks up his first foul. Player control foul, no free throws.
Cameron got some playing time last year, of course, with his twin brothers were seniors who both graduated. But Cam plays exceptionally hard. He's a little bit more under control, but effort is not going to be any problem for Cameron.
The Indians will have the ball, barring another jump ball to start the third quarter. Let's see if they hold for one or take the best available look they can get. The answer is the latter. And that was off the top of the backboard. 3-on-2 break, short. Calls his own number. Good block on the way up. That was by McLemore. Look ahead pass. Sadin will lay it up and in. So Sadin gets his second bucket. And that is the end of the half. Lead got to as many as 15. It is 11 going to the break. And again, all things considered, when your leading scorer is in street close on the season, one of the top 25 scorers in the state, you lead by double digits going to halftime, you'll take it. 29-18 is our score. Speedway leads Crawfordsville as you're watching Sparkplug Basketball here on Speedway Community TV and the ISC Sports Network.
we'll go. Let's go ahead and let the camera. You're doing a good job.
Sorry I lost the ball that one time, and sorry it was shaky when I was panning.
It's okay. Stuff happens. Are you hearing an echo on what? Are you what? Okay, I'm asking you a legitimate question, but hey, okay.
You mean here or on them? It wasn't bad enough that I.
Go ahead and go on.
So, but I'm not listening.
I know that somebody said, "Is anyone hearing an echo?" So I was just trying to find out. I'm plugging in to see if I can hear it. Hey, Henry! What time are we coming back? Okay. Did you tell Henry?
So you said we're going to go back to 2 and you're going to put up a graphic? Did you tell them what that graphic says?
It's just the score.
From man-to-man to zone a lot, but they're going to have to try something different, even man-to-man offense. I would not be surprised if they went back to that flex a little bit more as a half-court offense for the rest of the game. I don't know. They need something to spur them on.
Points have come for the big three, so to speak, without Cam Reich playing tonight for Speedway. And again, he is 21st in the state in scoring, coming into this game at over 22 points a game. Drew Metallic 12, Landon Short 9, Devin Robinson 8. The only kind of note of concern of that group so far for the Plugs is the fact that Devin Robinson is playing with 3 fouls.
Devin's last foul was kind of over the back, and I know after he committed, he knew I'm in trouble. But you're right, with a short bench as they have tonight, can't really afford to lose any.
As far as Crawfordsville is concerned, Mason McCarty with 4 points, Caden Patton with 10, Alex Sadin with 4. Athenians have the ball, third quarter. Here we go. And final home game for the Plugs in 2023. They play just up the street at Ritter. On the drive to the basket, McLemore, who has not found the rhythm all night long. Short on the take, the make, and the foul. Landon Short in double figures with 11, and a chance to extend the Speedway lead.
Landon Short, nice drive to the basket, taking the ball right to the defense. Strong player, 6'4", struggles from the line a little bit, but has a really good game tonight.
48% on the season for Landon. Perfect form by Landon. So the lead back to 14. It was a 14-point lead at the end of the first quarter with 17-3. Both teams found a little more offensive. Well, I guess Crawfordsville found more offensive rhythm in quarter number 2. The lead stayed about the same. Turnover committed by the Athenians. Again, they average a little more than 9 a game. Speedway his first, more than that tonight. Cork fires for 3 and misfired, did Cork from 3. And he averages a point a game, gets extra minutes tonight because of the absence of Reich. Shot rattled home by Patton, and while normally he is their 5th leading scorer, he is clearly their lead option tonight. Robinson tripped by McLemore, which will be quickly his 3rd foul.
Greg, it just seems like Speedway has really kind of dominated this game. But when you look at the board, 12 points is not undoable at all, especially with 7 minutes to go till the end of the 3rd quarter. And the way they shoot threes, Speedway cannot feel comfortable at any point.
Plugs looking for their first non-conference win of the season. And they're 2-0 in the ICC, 2-3 overall. Robinson pulls from 14. That's a tough shot. Good job by Bennett to stay in front of Fuller. Fuller, the 2nd leading scorer on the season for Crawfordsville, but has yet to score tonight. He's going to try to fix that right now and doesn't. Good help side by Short. And this is a sizable Speedway team.
Yes.
Short, pass tipped and taken away. Double-digit turnovers for the Spark Plugs. Trout, the runner, does not go. And now, look ahead pass to Cork. Cork got bailed out by the kickball. Well, to that point, Speedway starting 6'3", 6'3", and 6'5". And Reich's absence doesn't affect their overall size. It just affects kind of the firepower that Chuck Bennett's team has at their disposal.
And Robinson, number 32, 5'10", but
plays
power
much
packs.
bigger, yep. Some of the best post players I've ever seen, 6'1", 6'2", in terms of how they're built. Bennett gets downhill and 1. Cam Bennett, just the 4th Speedway player to score. They've only played 7, but Bennett gets in the scoring column, and Speedway bumps their lead up yet again. Bennett 5.5 points, 4.5 rebounds a game. Does not get to the line often. He is 9 of 11 from the stripe this year and make that 10 of 12. You mentioned his twin brothers that played last year. One of them, a National Football Foundation Scholar Athlete Award winner last year at the Indianapolis Colts Complex.
Creighton Bennett.
Good motion set here by Crawfordsville. There's that flex cut. Look at the backdoor cut for the guard. Patton had his shot altered by Metallic.
Okay, right now, Speedway's doing a great job of getting the ball in the middle of the floor and spitting it back out. A lot of good things happen when that ball is in the paint. And most of the times it doesn't come with the player with the basketball. It comes from shooters on the wings.
Short. Got it. Short with 14. And he averages 11 a game. And again, I think this speaks to the level of competition Speedway has played this year. It's a solid Crawfordsville team, and Speedway has a 17-point lead. And again, this was without their leading scorer. Saden. Casual in his entrance and exit to the lane on that possession. The scoop. McCarty does not get the bounce, but he will get 2 free throws.
Right now, just not a lot of offense going on the Crawfordsville end of the floor. A lot of dribbling. Several things slow down offenses. A lot of dribbling, the ball sticking in somebody's hand too long. And they just haven't figured out, although I'll give credit to Speedway for the man-to-man defense they're playing up to this point.
I really think that both the length and physicality of Speedway has given Crawfordsville some fits. McCarty makes them both. He's made his last 4 from the line. Those just points 3 and 4 the quarter so far for the Athenians. And good sharing of the basketball. 3 in the corner, left short. On the drive, shot blocked, but contact there. That 3 was missed by Kendrick Kaiser. We just played in 1 varsity game so far this year, but with Reich's absence, getting more of a look tonight. And now Tyson Fuller, 12 of 15 from the line this season, will shoot 2. Fuller, one of 5 seniors in the top 7 for this Athenians team. And gets his first point of the night. Partner, in your copious notes for tonight's game, I had noticed you had written down the year 1911.
Well,
and you had did that why?
Well, that was the first year of the state tournament in Indiana, and Crawfordsville was the first team that won the state tournament. 12 teams were in it.
Robinson's 3 does not go.
I think we're settling there a little bit too much for the threes the last 3 or 4 possessions. We'll get to this a little bit between the quarters too, but they were also the runner-up the second year, which is 1912. 40 sectional championships in their history, 11 regionals, so a storied past for the Athenians.
Well, frankly, Crawfordsville was the birthplace of Indiana basketball,
well,
as that 3 is taken and missed.
We get to a little break in the action here.
That's called a tease of coming events.
Absolutely.
Story time with Uncle Ron comes between the 3rd and 4th quarters. And no, you were not around for that, by the way. I'll make sure I'll point that out.
Again, I don't think Speedway needs to settle for perimeter shots.
Landon Short agrees with you. And there, frankly, has not been much in either direction in the way of offensive rebounds tonight.
No.
For Speedway, the problem is, and it's a good problem to have, they not miss many shots. No. But Short able to clean up what he is, and again, that's the advantage the Plugs have tonight.
And Coach Bennett's done a nice job of using the bench of what's there, giving some guys rest.
So Sade now with 6, his first point since halftime. Last touch by Speedway. Coleman will check back in. Robinson gets a breather. McLemore returns.
Coach Pierce's JV coach, Danny Pierce, was head coach at Western Boone for years when I was coaching. I tell you, one of the classiest people, classiest coaches that we ever went against. And I know his son is the same way.
Indians have played just 6 tonight. Trout, the only player off the bench, fires a 3, leaves that one short. Kaiser on the push.
Need a little communication help there from his teammates. I don't think that would have happened.
Hatton lets a man fly by and fires from 17, and he was finding the range earlier. Now he has come up cold. Kaiser off 1 foot. No. Again, making the most of his second varsity appearance of the season. Bennett, sometimes your face can get in the way.
There we go.
But then a foul called against Fuller.
Coach Bennett just yelled, turn it over a couple of times, and I completely agree at this point. Minute 34 to go at the end of the 3rd quarter. 13-point lead, you don't want it to sink any deeper.
In other words, when he says turn over a couple times, flip sides of the floor.
Yes.
Move the ball around.
Move the defense.
I can hear my buddy, the now retired head coach at DePaul, Bill Fenlon. I'm not sure I've ever heard a more professorial sounding Division III coach in my life saying, I've got these studies that if you flip the ball 3 times in a half court, your likelihood to score. And I'm like, Bill, that's the most Division III coach thing said ever right there. Short, he's been fantastic. He's got 18.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
Lead up to 15, and frankly, it has been between seemingly 10 and 17 ever since the end of the first quarter. McCarty got hit on the way by. Coleman the foul, and Mason McCarty has kind of taken over as the lead instigator of offense for the Athenians.
You mentioned Bill Fenlon and his analytics. I know he was also a huge proponent of up 3 points, fouling under 10 seconds to go.
Oh, he has a doctoral thesis ready at all times to talk about this.
Because Matt Painter did that against Virginia, and it took a series of totally unusual events for them to win that game.
It should have worked.
Exactly.
The math checked out.
Yeah.
McCarty has made 6 free throws in a row. Full court pickup here by Crawfordsville. Just trying to find a spark in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Metallic timeout. Chuck Bennett saw a turnover was about to happen. 30-second timeout taken by Speedway.
And also it's going to give our kids, both kids actually, but a chance to rest here twice within a minute. And game like this, you're going to get to the last quarter, and it's fortunately the spark plugs are up by 13 if you're a Speedway fan, but can very easily run into fatigue problems late in the game. And fatigue problems don't only affect shooting. Many times it affects bad decisions, turnovers. So hopefully this gives both teams a chance here to rest up. Don't want to put the jinx ahead on Coach Ben, but he's got to be really pleased so far with how this team's playing. Without the leading scorer, some turnovers still exist, but complete unselfishness and some good things. Other players have stepped up. Before the game, I was a little worried that some players would try to do too much, but they haven't.
They're going to call a moving screen against Speedway. Kind of that zipper cut to try to get Metallic open at the top of the key. A well-designed play, but just enough movement that time by Coleman. Picks up the whistle. That is his third. And again, when you're playing only 6 or 7 guys, fouls are going to rack up when you get to the second half regardless. 3 on Robinson, 3 on Cork, and 3 on Coleman. And now a moving screen against Saden going the other direction. So Saden picks up his third foul. He and McLemore have 3 apiece.
Looks like a little run and jump.
Because one of the advantages that Speedway has, they've got the size that can kind of look over those traps. In the lane, basket is good by Jazz Coleman. Coleman had scored 4 points all season coming into tonight's game.
Jazz is also a member of our football team, a very good football player.
And just a sophomore. And this has been the ebb and flow of the night. Patton, a contested jump shot that does not go. Good rebound by Bennett. Got time to line it up and probably, well, they might charge him for the shot clock after he done it, but probably had a little more time on that one. But those are first world problems because this lead has seemingly had a force field at 12 for the last 2 quarters. It is 43-28, so I almost stepped on your toes at a history lesson here. So, Coach, enlighten us.
Well, first of all, yes, this is a big weekend. 132 years ago, yesterday, basketball was invented, of course, by James Naismith. And in 1894, the first game was played in Indiana. It was played at Crawfordsville at a YMCA, and I actually have a piece of the floor from that game.
That is amazing.
I know. Coach Massario gave this to me several years ago. Again, my footprints are not on here. But in 1911 then, which was 30 years after the invention of basketball, Crawfordsville won the first state title. As I said, there was 12 teams. And there was a time in the state tournament, Greg, where all teams were not in it. The teams that were in it were actually nominated by politicians in the area. How would that make for an election year if that's done today? But it's a very storied past. As I said, 40 sectional championships, many of those coming before class basketball, but a storied program. And certainly if you went through 25 teams in the state with storied past, you'd have the Marions and the Muncies and so forth. But then you would have schools like way in the past, like Crawfordsville, was very important.
And again, you didn't have to branch out far from Crawfordsville for the early origins of the game.
Absolutely.
The first individual star of Indiana high school basketball.
Can I guess?
Say his name.
Homer Stonebreaker.
From?
Wingate.
There you go. Not far from Crawfordsville.
Now, that corner of the state was the first 10, 15 years dominated.
That was the Mesopotamia of Indiana high school basketball right there. Fuller, it's his first bucket of the game. He's got 4 points in general. And again, you just got a feeling if there's a run tonight from Crawfordsville, it's got to happen right now.
Yeah.
By the way, you may wonder, I have all these Wabash facts and figures. Not being a Wabash alum, being the voice of the Monon Bell game does this stuff for you. And Wabash is a sponsor of ours on ISC. So in addition to being the play-by-play guy, I am the writer of the Wabash College halftime trivia questions that air on ISC and MyNDTV. Homer would go on to play 1 year at Wabash College in 1916 and 17.
I did not know where he went to.
He may have went multiple places, even before the transfer portal. But he played 1 year at Wabash. And back then, averaging 16 points a game was a big deal. Corks three, a little bit short. Good bounce pass to Saden. Defender flies by, he misses. Fuller collects a rare chance at second chance points for Crawfordsville. And at 11, this is as close as this has been now in some time.
And you mentioned if they're going to do something, it's got to be very quickly.
Bennett, the benefactor, shot blocked. But he got it back. Keeps fighting and misses. Now a chance for a bucket this time to make it a single-digit deficit. And then it's turnover. And a 3v1. Short, step through, shot blocked.
I'd venture to say that might have been the first time in his career where he attempted that move.
The step through.
Yes.
Timeout taken by Speedway. It will be of the full variety.
Greg, you mentioned Homer Stonebreaker. One of my ex-players, when I was at Rensselaer, developed a clothing line. This has been 20 years ago. But he named it the Stonebreaker Clothing Line based on his past and what he meant to Indiana high school basketball history. And I still have a couple of sweatshirts. The company kind of fell under, but he had to go to the family to get all permission to use the name. And so, yeah, it's the name. It's one of the very first big names in Indiana high school.
I'm lucky that I'm about to the time of year where I spend a little more time at the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame because I'll be in Newcastle next Friday and next Saturday for the Hall of Fame Classic. Those games can all be streamed for free, by the way, on the ISC Sports Network. You'll see the boys' night games on Saturday, December the 30th will be shown on MyNDTV 23.
And if you've never been at the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, no one's paying me to say this. If you're a basketball fan and you have a sense of tradition in our state, you've got to visit there.
And they are expanding the Hall of Fame as we speak. So, in other words, you can still go and you'll see the exact same exhibits that you've seen over the years, but they are adding on to the south end of that building in Newcastle.
Any idea how long that's going to take?
I don't think it's going to be very long. It's took a 12 to 18-month process, so not too terribly long. But the good news is it doesn't affect the ability to go and see things at the Hall of Fame because their busiest 2 days of the year, the Girls and Boys Hall of Fame Classic days. Good turn by Robinson, just missed it. And then the player that tried to save it inbounds was already stepped out of bounds. So
whatever Coach Bennett drew up in the timeout there worked. It just missed the bunny.
And Robinson has not scored here in half number 2. Part of that's been limited with foul troubles. Bennett turns down the 3. Metallic draws the foul on Fuller, and I've got that as his 3rd. Second team foul of the final stanza.
And I think Drew got lucky on that play because I think he was stumbling and perhaps was going to commit a turnover before the push occurred.
It was 14 points, the lead at the end of the first quarter. It has basically been in that vicinity ever since. Robinson, good take, just couldn't make the shot, but there's Bennett, extra pass Robinson, and finally, ball escapes over the rim. So Robinson becomes the third spark plug in double figures with 10. And you would assume probably the last spark plug in double figures as reigning players have 5 points tonight. McCarty poked away. And then blocked by Metallic. Metallic, just a sophomore. He's got a chance to be something special here at Speedway.
Yes. A lot of similarities, body-wise, the way he plays, the way he conducts himself on the floor to his brother.
And a moving screen foul called against Crawfordsville. Trout. It'll be his 4th foul.
And I think you hit on a key point earlier in game 2. Speedway's height has really helped them out with the basketball, being able to throw the ball over the defenders. Most of our turnovers tonight have not been in those situations.
Good
Nice
take by
drive.
Bennett. Cam Bennett's got 5. This is a Speedway team that I think is capable of picking up some wins in the second half of the season.
Yes,
As
it is.
McCarty hits a bucket. He's got 10, and a timeout taken, a full timeout taken by Crawfordsville. As you mentioned, Ritter, the next opponent coming up on Thursday. Greenwood Christian will be here on Friday, January the 5th. That'll be our next broadcast on Speedway Community TV. The Marion County Tournament then starts the following Tuesday against Roncalli. Then it is back to conference play, and the team that has to be the favorite in 1A, regardless of rankings, just because Remus Woods Ball Club was so dominant in the postseason run last year. And no offense to their state championship win, their most impressive win was actually when they beat Bloomfield at the Hatchet House in Washington in the 1A tournament, and that would be the defending champs, the Saints of Lutheran.
I think earlier this season, Greenwood Christian defeated Lutheran.
They did.
Greenwood Christian has won a couple of big games. Yeah, the Plugs schedule really gets difficult. We have Shelbyville this year on the schedule, Martinsville, Lebanon. Those a little bit later in the year, but Coach is really happy with the 2-0 start in the conference. That means a lot to him, a lot to the players.
Frankly, I'm a big fan of playing in the most difficult schedule you can. Everybody makes the tournament. Play the best competition you can find.
That's always been his motto, and we have in the past.
Robinson
Go to the corner.
able to find the outlet
Nice.
pass. Good feed to
Good
Bennett.
save.
Collects
Good
and
feed.
scores. Bennett with 7. McCarty on the dish. Blocking foul on a pass, which means no shot. And that's just the first team foul against Speedway of the quarter. Well, he counted the bucket, but that should not be the case because he was not the player that made the shot. So if there is a foul there, it should be underneath out of bounds and wave off the basket.
Timing-wise, it was really close, but
Right,
the
it's
foul was
out of
before.
bounds, yeah. Because he was not the player that took the shot. There you go. Blocking foul. And again, it shouldn't be 2 shots.
No.
Again, because the player that took the charge was not the player, or that had the blocking foul, was not the player that shot the ball.
No, completely agree with you.
So McCarty, Christmas comes a little early for Mason's scoring average. I think it's 2 free throws he shouldn't have. And makes them both. And McCarty single-handedly is raising Crawfordsville's free throw shooting percentage as he has made his last 8. Bennett able to corral that.
Kind of getting to the point in the game now, 13 points up with under 4 minutes, where the team ahead is going to say can be a little bit more patient.
Fuller gets the layup. So back to an 11-point game. Robinson has Court by his lonesome, and he'll lay it up and in. Toby Court gets his first bucket of the game. And as Crawfordsville has kind of sold out the press to be able to try to create some more turnovers, they have left kind of the back end open, which has led to some easy looks for Speedway.
I think that last bucket was a big basket for Speedway to beat the press after we had trouble with it the first time.
And that'll be a kicked ball, so underneath out of bounds to Speedway. And frankly, Speedway has not kind of done this intentionally, but it's kind of turned out that way. Almost every look at the basket the last few minutes has been at the rim. You're about getting to lay up a clock here for Coach Bennett's team.
This is the green light, yellow light, red light situation. Right now we're probably in yellow. Still got to attack.
That's where you want the shot coming from, even though he didn't make it. Good hustle back by Short, and then blocks it a second time, and then Metallic grabs the rebound.
Landon Short, great game. Both ends of the floor. And again, he's the most veteran player on our team.
That's so good by Metallic,
yes.
So good. 14 for the sophomore. You look up now, it's a 15-point game with 2:20 left to go in it. McCarty, good look that wouldn't fall. And just by doing this so many years, you just kind of unintentionally start looking at the bench after a shot like that, and Coach Pierce just looks up at the clock and goes, yeah, not the Athenians' night.
Nope.
And Saden missed a good look, too. You can't draw up two better looks than Crawfordsville just have, and sometimes not your night.
And as you said that, we can see the Athenians going to put in a mass substitution. You must have read Coach Pierce's mind.
As a coach, do you like having this length of break during the course of your season? They will not play now for 2 weeks, will Crawfordsville?
No.
Yeah, me too.
You know, in the past, when there weren't a lot of tournaments and play over vacation, this happened.
Right.
But there's so many good tournaments right now and so many games. You get college kids a chance to come home and see your team play. And we start later. We used to start October 15th. Now
Absolutely,
they start in November, so it's not as long of a season. If you're not winning, it is, but if you're winning, it goes fast.
So we'll get names on the fly as best we can here. Again, this is an all JV group on the floor for Crawfordsville. You're open, young man. Let fire. There you go. You're down. And see, rewarded. Nolan Watts gets the bucket to go. And a timeout by Speedway again, just to get players in the game. That's all this is. They're going to keep the game going. Well, the Plugs will get to 3-3 on the season. Crawfordsville will drop to 4-4 on the campaign.
But I think you're right earlier. I can see Speedway's got potential, for, even with the difficult schedule here, for some good wins the second half of the season. This was our best all-around effort for 32 minutes that we've had this year.
Good ball movement here by the Speedway reserves. Firing up a three. And
that'll be a memorable first shot in your varsity career.
I believe that's Jerron Smith that is the player wearing number 34 for the Plugs tonight. We might need a broom. There we go. And we can continue on with the game now.
It reminds me a little bit, although in a different situation, 2 years ago in the NCAA tournament when the IU was playing St. Mary's and the ball got stuck way up high. And
correct. Yep.
The only way they could get it down was
cheerleader.
To hoist a cheerleader.
But the only thing IU did well that night.
You know, this is excitement too, though. If this is the first time some of these players have been on the varsity court, it means a lot to them.
Well, your heart beats about 1,000 beats per minute if you're one of these kids right now.
Yeah.
Wearing the varsity gear for the first time. You need to at least shoot it one time. That does not go. And that'll be the end of activity tonight as Ethan Campbell misses the shot. And handshake's about to be shared. And they're not mean to take anything from Speedway's victory, but frankly, the last 3 quarters about as humdrum as you could be. Speedway jumps out to a 14-point lead, and it was basically never less than 10 from that point in time on. 53-41. Sparkplugs even the record at 3-3.
If you're Speedway, you like humdrum like that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was not a good all-around effort. It was a great all-around effort on Speedway's part. I'm sure that Crawfordsville is probably a little bit disappointed in how they played, but this is another tradition. Speedway has sing the school fight song in the middle of the floor. But again, it gives that food a little bit better taste next week.
Drew Metallic with 14, Landon Short with 18, Devin Robinson 10, Cam Bennett with 7, Toby Cork and Jazz Coleman each with 2. Kendrick Kaiser saw minutes. Other JV players got in late in the game for Speedway but did not score. For Crawfordsville, Mason McCarty 12, Caden Patton with 12, 8 for Tyson Fuller, 6 for Alex Saden, and a late 3 by Nolan Watt. That equals all the scoring for the Athenians. Again, Speedway will be in action at Cardinal Ritter on Thursday. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back and we'll chat with the victorious head coach and Chuck Bennett for your Speedway Spark Plugs. That's back in a moment. Speedway wins this one 53-41. You've been watching on Speedway Community TV and the ISC Sports Network. All right, post-game coverage continues here on Speedway Community TV and the ISC Sports Network. And one of 3 players scoring double figures tonight for the Sparkplugs joins us now, and senior Devin Robinson had 10 points. It wouldn't have been for 3 early fouls. Probably would have had more in tonight's contest. But, Devin, most importantly, you got the win. First of all, congratulations on that. How you feeling after getting the W?
Big W. But we're trying to stack the wins now. We're like loss, win. So we're just trying to build them. Big conference game next week, so looking forward to that. Take it into the holidays.
Obviously, what was so tantamount to success for you guys tonight was the great start. You had a 17-3 lead into the first quarter, never really seriously threatened from that. What was the key to getting off such a good start tonight?
We just knew we were down a player, so we knew we had to come out fast and start defensively and score the basketball. So, I feel like we did that, and that contributed to the W.
Obviously, you just mentioned it, not having Cam Reich. And, again, you knew it's only going to be one game. You'll see him back next Thursday. But I guess just thoughts about what you and Drew and Landon did to overcome his absence tonight.
We stayed together as a team as a whole. So, we knew we would have to pick up responsibility. He's a 20-point-per-game scorer, so we knew we would just have to step it up, and we did that.
Obviously, Cam is new this year, transfer from Brownsburg, not only your teammate in basketball, but your teammate in football. Yeah. What's been like kind of welcoming into the fold this year?
It's great. He's a very emotional guy. It can hurt him in times too, but he's loud in the hallways, loud in the gym, loud on the field. And he just brings that energy 24/7, and it's great for the program.
All right, so obviously this helps you have a Merry Christmas because you'll be in a good mood after this win for the next 3 days. What's the Christmas holiday going to look like for you coming up on Monday?
Well, actually, my mom's birthday is on Christmas, so I'm celebrating with her all day. Just family, friends. Yep.
That's good to hear. All right, you get to get a break through Monday, a couple days of practice Tuesday and Wednesday. The big rivalry is on Thursday in Ritter. For people outside of this area that maybe don't know just how much of a rivalry that is, explain it to us.
Hey, we're right down the street from each other.
Literally,
we got kids that live in the district that go to Ritter, pay money to go to Ritter. So, it's huge. From the football side, we call it the West Side Super Bowl. Basketball is just as big. Cause, we're a big rivalry. We're fighting to win, and it's gonna be a hostile mentality, but hey, we're gonna get it.
All right, Devin, we'll let you go. Congratulations on happy holidays and celebrate the mom's birthday as well equally. Congratulations on the win tonight.
Thank you.
Again, Devin Robinson, he'll doff the headsets coming up here in a matter of moments. Chuck Bennett is on his way up. Again, the scoring totals tonight for the Speedway Sparkplugs, 18 for Landon Short, 14 for Drew Metallic, 10 for Devin Robinson, 7 for Cam Bennett, 2 each for both Toby Cork as well as Jazz Coleman in tonight's contest as Speedway gets their first non-conference victory of the season, run their record of 3-3, and again, that big rivalry game coming up with Cardinal Ritter on Thursday night. Chuck Bennett will be joining me momentarily as he walks into the shot. I was blessed enough to get a phone call from Coach Bennett this morning, and since it's a big win tonight, I might get invited back for a game next year as well. Chuck, happy holidays. Good to see you, my friend.
Seeing you.
Congratulations on a fantastic effort tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Our kids, just real proud of our kids. Obviously, playing without Cam Reich, our leading scorer, but gave a chance for the rest of the kids to step up. It wasn't the most pretty basketball game at times, but, sometimes you just grind them out. It's before Christmas break, and, again, different kids in different positions, so real happy. And then I know you just got done talking with Devin, and what a great kid he is. Great GPA, almost like a 3.8, 3.9. Academic honors diploma. Is going to go to IU, study business, and probably sell ice to Eskimos someday or something. So, and then he held their leading score, just to 9 points. So, just real happy with all that. So,
let's talk about Landon Short. 18 points. It's more than just points that make a good basketball player, but points help. Your thoughts about his effort tonight?
Key possession, I thought, for him. Yes, scored. All that, but there was a possession where something happened on this end, and he sprinted all the way from the other end, came back, got back. I think it was on number 11. He went up, blocked his shot out of bounds, and I think they could have cut it to single digits at that point. Now, having said that, yes, go to the basket strong, made his free throws tonight. He's done a great job there. Again, playing out of position a little bit, playing a little bit outside, but, yeah, Landon's a senior too. We're blessed with great seniors, but, can't say enough about it. And then went up strong inside, things that we've done all week in practice. But that key possession where he just sprinted and got down there. I mean, that says it all. So.
Obviously, life is easier when you get off to a good start. You led 17-3 after one quarter. What kind of spurred you to that beginning in the first 8 minutes?
I think just defensively, just locking in. Again, Devin shut out number 10. I know they were hurting without the Burst kid because he was also, I think, like their first or second leading scorer too. But I thought our kids did a great job. And then offensively, we moved the ball. Drew Metallic shot it well. He hadn't shot it that well all year long. So, but I thought we moved the ball well offensively. And even though it seemed like it was 2-0 for 6 minutes or something, we did go on that spurt. And I'm real proud of my kids too, even though the second quarter I think we gave up 15 points. But, we talked to them. If we hold them below their defensive average on the night, we're going to win the game. And so our kids buying into defense and doing that was great. So, but that start is key. And then even though the third quarter wasn't quite the start, we won a couple turnovers, another key there. I think we extended our lead a little bit in the third quarter too.
Even though he didn't play tonight, Cam Reich has been so important to you this season. What has it been like welcoming into the fold of Speedway after Speedway High School after transferring from Brownsburg?
I think what he's done more than anything is he's made it easy to welcome himself in. He did play football this year, never played football before in his life, and contributed in a major way with them. And then he's another kid on track for an academic honors diploma, wants to go play college ball at the next level, but he's one of those kids that's come in and fit in with the seniors. And so, again, we would say you're only as good as your seniors. And so the four we have with Toby Cork and Cam Reich now and Landon and Devin, they've done a great job leading. So, of course, he's got a lot of personality.
Yes, he does.
It's infectious. And he's really adapted well to what we're doing. And so, if we can continue to go down that path, and we just talked to the kids. We played 6 games, but there's still 16 more games to play. And January, February is a grind. But we're looking forward to that. And we're looking forward, too, to having a couple days off.
Sure.
Friends, family, faith, and then move on from there and come back. But the great part is when we come back, 2 days prepare, and then we go play Ritter, big conference rival. We're undefeated in the conference, so it'll be a big game for us.
How do you describe that rival to people again? For those that don't know, if I looked outside a window, I could almost see Ritter from here.
Yes.
There aren't many schools that are like that across the state. What's that rivalry mean to you?
Well, I mean, obviously, I went here and played here, so we played many times against Ritter back then, and then that rivalry just does seem to grow. They talk about the 8-mile drive from Duke to North Carolina.
Right.
Well, we're talking 1.2 miles or something
right.
like that. And the kids know each other, West Side. But and then they got us in football this year, so I'm sure we'll want to go over there. And we haven't won over there in a while, so it's like every other rivalry probably. Sure. But it's great. It gives our kids passion. And I'll tell you what else I like too is that's a day where we play our freshman, JV, varsity. So all 3 levels get to go over and play. So again. It's nice to do, but it's sometimes indescribable, I guess. But
Chuck, happy holidays, my friend. Good to see you as always. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Got it. Chuck Bennett again joining us. Thanks to Devin Robinson, thanks to Ron Probst, thanks to Brian Pierce, everybody behind the scenes here at Speedway Community TV. Plugs win this one 53-41. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be back here on January the 5th. Happy holidays, everybody, and thanks for watching on Speedway Community TV and the ISC Sports Network.